Hello, class, and welcome to the end of our semester. Congratulations on making it this far. I'm very proud of all of you who have done such hard work and put in the time and the effort to really make this online class work. So I appreciate the fact that you guys engaged with the class, even though it was in an online setting, to make this feel like a community. So well done on that. Now, this will be the last video of the semester, obviously, because this is the last week of the semester. We're going into finals week. Technically, today is the last day of classes. And so now I just want to kind of give some kind of parting thoughts, some wrapping up ideas and things like that. So one of the things that I hope this class did is I hope it helped you kind of learn more about the community that you want to join, to the professional or academic community that you want to join. And I hope that you found some value in actually engaging with various aspects of that field, whether it's the research or if you made a contact with someone, or if you learned some of the resources that people in your field use. I hope that you found value in this class. I also hope that you found value in this class through your kind of writing, developed any writing skills or strategies that you didn't have before, that you had and that you refined. And so it's my hope that by the end of this semester, that students in 3010 have had the ability to develop not only as students and writers, but kind of taking that first step towards their profession, or maybe the second step, or whatever, depending on where they're in their school. And that's one of the reasons why I really like teaching 3010, because it is an interesting opportunity to engage with the various aspects of a student's interest that other classes just don't allow you to do. So again, I wish this could have been like a face-to-face class, just because it's so fun to get to know everyone. But I still feel like I got to know you guys, and so thank you all for all of your thoughtfulness and your writing throughout the semester. So we've only got a couple things left to do then before you are all done with 3010 online. One of them obviously is to turn in Project 4 by Tuesday. If you haven't done so already, you have until midnight Tuesday to get that in to me, after which I cannot accept it. Just that's the nature of the semester. And the final thing is you have your reflective letter due this week. Now, I think it was in last week's video or email, I said to have it in, I think I said Wednesday. However, as was pointed out to me and I forgot, the syllabus actually says you have until Friday to submit your final reflective letter. And so Friday is the due date for that. You can turn it at any time between now and Friday. However, I will not accept it after Friday. So make sure that you're getting that in, because it is worth points. It is kind of a good way to make sure that you don't fall behind at the end of the semester. And so just to be clear, Project 4 is due Tuesday at midnight. Project 5, the reflective letter, is due Friday by midnight. I will have your grades, your final grades entered in shortly thereafter, so you shouldn't have to wait too long. But it will take me a few days to work through everything, so just be patient with that. So let's just kind of recap Project 5, just for anyone that has any questions. All we're doing is thinking through the work that you did this semester and thinking about how you worked with the various learning outcomes that we have for our course. And if you remember, if you go to our syllabus, those are read, write, reading, and reflecting. So reading critically, writing flexibly, using research to develop ideas, and incorporating sources into your work, and reflecting on the choices that you made. So those are all the basic kind of themes that run under all of our assignments. And so your goal for this reflective letter is to talk about how you engage with those. And so again, we can take a look at the prompt here, but go back to last week for a really in-depth discussion of how to go about doing this if you get stuck. And so all I'm looking for is for you to pull out an element of each of those learning outcomes and use the work that you've completed this semester as evidence for your engagement with those outcomes. So for example, if your job, think of it as your job is to prove you engage with each of the 4 learning outcomes, you're going to use at least two assignments, 2 projects that you wrote this semester as evidence for that. And if you remember down here in our requirements, one of the requirements is, one of the assignments you have to talk about is Project 4. And so in other words, if you are thinking about how you engage with reading, writing, research, and reflecting, you might talk about how Project 2 really helped you find sources, use evidence to write flexibly in a genre you've never done before. And then Project 4 helped you develop those strategies and reflection and things like that. And so all you'll be doing is pulling quotes and paraphrases out of those essays as evidence, essentially. So for example, you might say, in Project 2, I wrote really flexibly because I learned a new genre of writing that I'd never written before, and I developed a coherent essay to do that. And here's an example. Here's a little piece of that essay, and you can see me doing that. Or you could talk about, I really got good at using sources in my writing to make a point. You can see me do this in Product 4. Look, here's a moment where I'm using research to make an argument. Things like that. So that's all I'm looking for. You're literally using your essays, parts of your essays, as evidence. So make sure that you're pulling those quotes out. And then in the parentheses after the quote or in the footnote, you're just telling me what assignment it's coming from. So just to recap, Product 4, due Tuesday. Product 5, due Friday. If you have any questions or concerns, obviously email me, let me know. Other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure reading your work, talking to all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful break and a great next semester. So thank you all. And, I hope to have you guys in another class in the future. So thank you.